welcome to this edition of Action Video Game Talk. I'm your host, Scott Action Jackson. Thanks for joining us. And once again, we do have a good amount of news articles to cover, so let's get right into it. Nintendo has announced Pac-Man will be a fighter in the new Super Smash Bros. Game. He will have his own stage as well. He is the newer 3D Pac-Man from the Pac-Land series. For some of his attacks, however, he turns into the classic 2D Pac-Man. Game director Masahiro Sakurai said that he wants to make Super Smash Bros. The premier character fighter in the industry. It seems like the game is on the way to become that, if not already. So now we got Pac-Man as a character for Super Smash Bros. Oh boy, so now we're getting a bunch of the major franchise characters from video games in general. I mean, we got Pac-Man now, we got Mega Man, we got Mario. It'd be fun if there was like a few more, I guess, old school, original, main characters from other companies too. But then again, this is like Nintendo along with Namco Bandai. And of course, one issue I'm having is because they're working with Namco Bandai, I would like to see them throw in Dragon Ball Z character. Even if it's just Goku. But everybody's having a bitch fit because, Goku didn't start off as a video game character. So what? I mean, this is just my opinion. You don't have to make it personal against me. Even though I strongly wish they would. I mean, they tried a video game called Jump Superstars or something like that, where they tried to have some anime characters in a video game like a Super Smash Bros. And it never got ported to the US because so many issues with companies like Toei, probably the Jump magazine or Jump company, along with, here in the US it's the Funimation, over there in Japan it's Toei Animation. So there's probably going to be so many issues with so many of those characters. It's just bullshit that somebody throws out an opinion and everybody's all over it like if it's like some kind of godsend or something. Briefly shown during a recent announcement, Nintendo has a price and a special bundle for using the Gamecube controller on the Wii U. The adapter, which allows you to use up to 4 Gamecube controllers, or Wavebirds, will be available for $19.99. A special Super Smash Bros. Marked Gamecube controller will also be available for $29.99. Finally, Nintendo has a bundle planned, $999, that will include the Super Smash Bros. Wii U game, the adapter, and the controller. All of these items will be available the same day as the release of Super Smash Bros. On Wii U, which will arrive this holiday. Now, I like the fact that they're actually releasing this GameCube controller adapter for retail, and they do have a nice little price for it, $19.99. So a lot of people who have the GameCube controllers and want to use them for the Super Smash Bros. On the Wii U game can pick this up. I mean, I love this idea, especially being able to recycle older controllers. Well, for those who still have workable ones. This little bundle that they have that includes the game, the adapter, and the special Super Smash Bros. GameCube controller is a sweet deal. Well, I don't know if it's a sweet deal for being about $100, but I mean, maybe if they lower the price down a little. The crossover title, starring 2 of handheld gaming's biggest heroes, was announced a long time ago, ever since the game's exact fate outside of Japan has been ambiguous. Nintendo has revealed its plans to release Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright on August 29th. The Puzzle Courtroom Hybrid is already out in Japan, and now English-speaking fans can enjoy this team-up between the attorney Phoenix Wright and the genius Professor Herschel Layton, and their respected sidekicks Maya and Luke. So, Professor Layton is going against the attorney Phoenix Wright? Or, I thought they were supposed to be teaming up in this game. This title is about as confusing as the Batman v Superman title for the next, what was originally supposed to be Man of Steel sequel. But this is a great idea to have 2 major, I guess, Nintendo DS character franchises into one game. The only downside is that it took them forever to release it in the US, which is going to happen August 29th. Now, I don't know why it's taken this long. It's been in Japan for a long time. It's like, how can it be that hard to actually translate it? I mean, seriously. It wasn't the biggest surprise of E3 in 2014, but fans were nonetheless extremely excited for a new look at The Legend of Zelda on the Wii U. One question has popped up ever since the E3 Nintendo digital event, though. Was the footage taken from in-game? Producer Uji Oniyama has taken to the Nintendo Miiverse to address this point directly. Many people from the media kept asking me if the footage from the new Zelda game for the Wii U was just a promotional movie. But that really is actual gameplay on Wii U, he assures. Also, I wasn't kidding about how you will be able to reach the mountains that appear in the distance if you should choose to. The Legend of Zelda for Wii U does not yet have a subtitle, and is currently slated for 2015. Okay, so now this was actual gameplay footage that they showed for this trailer, and it looked awesome. I mean, you could see the details in the grass blowing back and forth. I mean, you could see a few buildings in the background, and they say you can actually get to the far mountains in the background if you wanted to. And of course, if you look at the layout in the background of the first image that they show, it does look like the same layout as possibly the Ocarina of Time Zelda map. I like that they're going this much detail for the actual game, because it's about as open world as the Skyrim game is. The main character in The Legend of Zelda Wii U sure looks like longtime hero Link, but producer is teasing that this may not be the case. No one explicitly said that this was Link, he told GamesBeat, leading to speculation that the blue tunicked champion from the trailer isn't our familiar hero. The main candidate that seems to be cropping up is Zelda, with some suggesting that the character looks like her alter ego Sheik, minus the scarf and cap. Of course, this doesn't mean Link isn't the star of the upcoming game, and the producer could just be being vague for the time being. In another interview, he said the Link featured in the trailer is not a woman, and that the comments he made about the character's identity weren't mean to be taken seriously. It seems like it was kind of taken off where people were saying, oh, it's a female character, and it just kind of grew, he told MMGN, but my intent in saying that was humor. He added that Link was meant to represent the player, and he doesn't want fans to focus on the character so much as they lose sight of the other elements of the trailer. So, I could see where some people are wondering if this main character shown in this trailer is actually Link or not, because it has some feminine looks about the face and area. Yeah, this is going to be actually Link that was shown in the trailer, so people don't have to worry about that. Although some people are still questioning whether Link is going to be a guy or a girl. Now, I'm guessing you can look at Link as somebody who could be either. Except I think in some versions of the Legend of Zelda games where it is a guy. But yeah, this Link does look like it could be different, because as you can probably tell by the trailer itself, this Link doesn't exactly have the Master Sword or his usual shield. He's just looks like he's kind of starting off in the world. StarFox is coming to the Wii U in 2015. 2 more Wii U titles developed by Nintendo's Sergei Miyamoto will accompany StarFox in 2015 as well. Project Giant Robot and Project Guard. The Wii U gamepad serves as a first-person cockpit view inside the R-Wing in StarFox, which includes a new helicopter vehicle and ability to switch to the Landmaster tank instantly. Project Giant Robot sees players building robots. Like StarFox, the gamepad becomes your cockpit. Custom robots then battle, as you use both button and gesture controls, which adds leverage and momentum in an effort to knock each other over. Using 12 different cameras to observe and attack, Project Guard sees players fighting against a robot invasion. Now, if you saw the actual E3 Nintendo Direct, you saw at the very end Miyamoto was actually playing StarFox, but all you saw was a blurred screen, but even through the screen you could see it. And Nintendo decided, oh, we're not going to announce it on the Nintendo Direct, we're going to announce it after. Who decides this crap? I mean, you can see it right there. They don't have to blur it. Go ahead and just come out and say, oh, guess what? I'm working on StarFox for the Wii U. It would have been that simple. Final Fantasy Explorers, a multiplayer role-playing game, is in development for the Nintendo 3DS, according to a most recent issue of Jump magazine. The game will task players with searching for crystals while fighting summons, the magical creatures that have appeared in Final Fantasy titles since Final Fantasy III. Like many other entries in the Final Fantasy universe, Explorers will allow players to choose from and level up a variety of jobs. Jump's reveal shows the Black Mage, White Mage, Knight, and Monk. The goal of Final Fantasy Explorers is to defeat the different generations of summons the players find. Ifrit, the fire elemental creature present in several series entries, is also shown in the Jump reveal. There is no specified release date for Final Fantasy Explorers as of now, but series regular Square Enix has been confirmed as the developer behind the RPG. Now, once again, this is another case where they should have revealed this game at E3. But with them releasing and revealing info on it through the Jump magazine, that's nice too. But it would have made more sense to release the info at E3 during the Nintendo Direct. So Square Enix is going to be the developer behind this game, this Final Fantasy Explorers. But the question I have is, which Final Fantasy will this feel like? Will it feel like Final Fantasy II or Final Fantasy III, which was listed in the article? Because Bravely Default, from what I've been hearing, plays a lot like the first Final Fantasy game. Or maybe it'll just be a totally different game on its own. Because a lot of the images shown looks a lot like the Crystal Chronicles era type of Final Fantasy stuff. I might save this article for whenever I get back together with the guys at Metroid Productions, because they'll probably have a good opinion on this. It's been a long time since we've heard anything about a new Metroid game. Until recently, we didn't have any reason to suspect that was going to change. The Nintendo franchise didn't have a presence at E3 this year, but fans may have reason not to give up hope just yet. In a recent interview with Tokaku, Nintendo's Shinya Kaihashi, who runs Nintendo's SPD group, the group who oversees development of Metroid games, expressed his interest in seeing the franchise return to both its 3D Prime and 2D Classic styles. We feel that we do need to take care of both of these styles of play, he said. While the interview didn't include any specific new information on possible new Metroid titles, he hinted that an announcement may be coming in the not-too-distant future. He said, "The hope is that at some point in the near future, we'll be able to share something about them, the Metroid games." Now, the Metroid franchise has always been great. I think the last release that they had, as far as Metroid, might have been, the Metroid Trilogy on the Wii? Because I don't think there was one on the 3DS. I know that they tried the Hunters game on the standard Nintendo DS system, but other than that, there hasn't been anything in a long, long while. And I'm hoping that they do bring something back. I mean, it shows here that they want to be able to share something in the near future. It looks like Wii U owners won't be getting Twitch gameplay streaming services anytime soon. Nintendo of America's President Reggie recently made Nintendo's opinion of gameplay streaming known in an interview in which he said, "We don't think streaming 30 minutes of gameplay by itself is a lot of fun." He said that the decision not to bring straight gameplay streaming to Wii U was based on the concern in Nintendo that it wouldn't be interesting or compelling enough to consumers. What we've got to think through is, so what's fun about that? From a consumer standpoint, what's fun about it? He said. The Wii U still has a presence on Twitch in the form of more focused content such as the highlight reels of Mario Kart 8. Nintendo also recently announced it will be putting together a means for video bloggers and YouTubers to work with Nintendo to create public content that will be exempt from copyright infringement. So the Nintendo of America President Reggie says that they don't think streaming 30 minutes of gameplay by itself is a lot of fun. Have you guys even seen the Let's Plays, especially by Rooster Teeth? Some of the stuff is actually fun to watch. Now, I don't know what the hell is wrong with some of these people over at Nintendo making these fucked up decisions. Twitch itself has picked up a lot, especially with the streaming gameplay from, I think, PS4. PS4 does officially have the gameplay footage for Twitch. I don't know if the Xbox One does or not. I know PC gamers have been using Twitch. I mean, come on, how difficult can it be to have the Wii U doing the Twitch gameplay streaming? I mean, seriously, we have people on Twitch playing old school Nintendo stuff, like the Pokemon games. It shouldn't be that difficult. Figure it out! Sony announced in their press conference that the PlayStation 4 will be coming in white to complement their currently solely black console. The white PS4 will be available for purchase on September 9th for $449 and will come bundled with Bungie's Destiny, a 30-day PlayStation Plus voucher, and a DualShock 4 controller. Now, there are two things I like about this. First, it's a white PS4. It's a different color than your standard black system that we have for most every major system. Secondly, it's going to be part of a bundle. Now, that bundle is going to include the Destiny game, 30 days of the PlayStation Plus membership, and of course, the actual system itself. It's going to be out on September 9th for $449. Now, I have no issue with this price, because the core system itself is about $400. So you're paying about $50, about $50 more for a $60 game and a 30-day membership of PlayStation Plus. That's a great deal. The Destiny First Look Alpha is now over, and our quest to protect the galaxy is on hold until the beta next month. To fill the void, we've got some new information about what you will get if you decide to purchase the title on PS4 or PlayStation 3. When Destiny launches, PlayStation players will have access to an exclusive strike on Mars. The Dust Palace includes a new type of enemy and a quest through an abandoned skyscraper for you and two of your friends. You also get the Exodus Blue competitive multiplayer map. This is a mid-sized arena with both control and skirmish modes that takes place in a decrepit ship. There are also weapons and armor for each class. 3 different ship areas also bundled in with these versions. Okay, now, just to let everyone know, I was involved, or I was invited, and given a code to join in the Destiny First Look Alpha that they had. And I'm sure that you can see on the previous videos that I've posted here how far I've gotten into it. The maximum level cap on the alpha was level 8. Now, I'm liking all the stuff that they're giving away for PlayStation players, even though it is a bit of a downer for Microsoft players, for people who have Xbox 360 and Xbox One, because they're not getting all this exclusive stuff. And I'm sure there'll probably be some exclusive stuff for the PC version too, whether it's the actual physical PC disc or the download, probably through Steam. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End may indeed be the final chapter in the franchise, according to the man behind Nathan Drake. Speaking to IGN, Nolan North explained that as far as he's aware, this is the last title that Naughty Dog wants to do in the series, and admitted he hopes no one else tries to continue the story without the studio. It's bittersweet, but at a point you want to go out on top, North said. If this is the last one indeed, and I believe it's the last one, nothing confirmed, but I believe it's the last one Naughty Dog wants to do. In which case, I hope somebody else doesn't pick up the mantle because they've done it so well for so long. But yeah, it's one of those things where you just have to cross that bridge when you get to it. I like the idea of going out on top, so we better do a hell of a job with this one. And it's already looking pretty good. Now, the Uncharted franchise has been going for a long while, and there should be no issue with the 4th one being the last one. They said it right here, if they want to go, they want to go out on top. They probably want to go out with a big bang. And you know what? If they have a nice way to end the series, without being, too much head-scratching, like, say, Mass Effect 3, then I say go for it. Players will be able to play Far Cry 4 cooperatively even if their friends don't own the game. However, this feature will be exclusive to PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 versions. PS3 and PS4 gamers without Far Cry 4 will be able to download a separate client that includes all the game's assets besides the single-player missions. Those will not be playable cooperatively. In addition, gameplay will be more difficult when you have your buddy at your side. The character players will control during co-op is Herc, an NPC originally seen in Far Cry 3. Now, I've heard and seen one other game that does something like this, and that was the original Mario Kart on the DS. Now, with that one, you just had to have, your main Mario Kart cartridge DS game, and then everyone else who wants to play with you can just link up with it. And of course, what shows here is that, your other friends that want to play just have to download a little bit of stuff to be able to play, just not the full game. And of course, if you've seen the actual gameplay footage of the co-op stuff, a big old invincible thing is to use an elephant as a weapon. Yeah, a lot of people are going to be trying for that. After buying many assets like Darksiders and Red Faction in THQ's bankruptcy auction in 2013, Nordic Games has now acquired the THQ trademark. In an interview with Polygon, Nordic Games general manager said the studio recently bought the THQ trademark in a standalone deal outside the auction, and will allow it to publish games with the THQ label. He said the move is part of Nordic Games' continued plan to make a name for itself while also giving due references to acquired franchises. "We are a small team," he said. "The expectations from outside regarding the IPs of THQs are really high. We see it every day on our Facebook sites. If we post something new to a project, the first comments are, 'Oh nice, but what about Darksiders 3? This is where we need some more patience from the fans, because we want to be able to do it right." The owner of Nordic Games has given interviews where he said that he doesn't want to make a crappy sequel. Okay, so in my opinion, does Nordic Games really want to publish under the THQ trademark, considering how many issues there has been for some of their games? I mean, THQ doesn't really have a good reputation around the time that they went bankrupt. But THQ was a major name for video games. I mean, look at some of the older stuff. I mean, I still have the WWF No Mercy game that was made by THQ, along with some of those along with the other wrestling games that THQ made. They were awesome at this stuff back then. And I'm sure there's other awesome video games that THQ were responsible for. And putting THQ logo on a game might give it some good reputation, but I don't know if it might be good on the long run. And of course, they bring up the whole Darksiders 3. I think they've been talking about doing another Darksiders game. So if they're going to continue on with it, they should go ahead and say it. I mean, a lot of people have been asking for Darksiders 3. I know that recently they were supposed to make a Darksiders collection. It had Darksiders 1 and 2. But they shouldn't worry about any of that until they get Darksiders 3 out and get to Darksiders 4. Because once they get to Darksiders 4, it'll be the fourth horseman of the apocalypse. Because then they can have a full, complete collection. And of course on here, they kind of blur out the whole, don't want to make a shitty sequel. That's what everybody wants to do, no matter whether you're in video games or in the movie making business. You don't want to make a shitty sequel, but shit happens. After more than 2 decades of various TV cartoon adaptations, Sonic the Hedgehog will finally star in his own big screen role. Sony Pictures Entertainment and Marza Animation Planet, a Japanese CG animation studio, are collaborating to bring the Blue Blur to life in a hybrid CG live-action movie. We don't know much else about the film at the moment, other than we can expect to see other characters like series villain Dr. Eggman make an appearance. Now, I don't know how I feel about there being a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Now, there was previously a Sonic the Hedgehog movie back in 1996, but it was a theatrical release in Japan. Over here in the US, when it came here in 1999, it was a direct-to-video release. So, aside from that, Sonic the Hedgehog, as far as, the actual small screen, has been going on for a long while. I'm curious to see how they're going to do that. I mean, they said it's going to be a hybrid of CG and live action. There's an actual video out there on YouTube if you can find it. Somebody did a short film using CG and live action featuring Sonic the Hedgehog. And I think they actually got... Yeah, if I remember this right, I think they actually got one of the guys who voiced Sonic the Hedgehog before, if I can remember how to pronounce his name right. He played Steve Urkel in Family Matters. Jaleel White, if that's how I pronounce his name right. Sorry if I got it wrong. But they got him to voice Sonic the Hedgehog in the little short movie clip that they have on YouTube, and they might have published it on some other video sites. It depends on what they use as far as like the story for a major motion picture of Sonic the Hedgehog, especially here in America. Because this movie right here, Sonic the Hedgehog the movie, in America would probably have to be different than it would be over in Japan. Because when they had that one in Japan back in '96 and transferred it here in 1999, there was a lot of edits and redubbing and censorship. Okay, as far as major new releases, last week we actually had two: How to Train Your Dragon for the 3DS, PS3, Wii U, Wii, and the Xbox 360. There was Enemy Front for the PS3, 360, and PC. This week there is one major new release game: EA Sports UFC. It's for PS4 and Xbox One. So, that'll do for this edition of Action Video Game Talk. Once again, thanks for joining us. I will once again have a link down below for the Facebook page. Later on, I will have separate clips up from the news articles if you want to check those out too. Go ahead and give us a like or subscribe to the YouTube channel down there if you want. And over at Facebook, go ahead and give us a like, and you can follow us over there when we actually have some major news or if anything is happening that's coming up. Until next time, bye! I love